Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thank goodness tomorrow Arlen will be home, finally. Oh, it's a little loud outside tonight. I guess that's kind of like the rush hour. Hey, I hope you're doing well. We hope you're doing well. And I saw some recent videos by other YouTubers, not necessarily Philippine YouTubers. Okay. And I thought I would kind of touch that subject because it really makes me a little difficult to understand them and what their expectations are. So maybe you can help me with that. I hope you'll comment and tell me what you think. Do Filipino women make great wives? Well, I don't think so. I don't think that Filipino women, in and of themselves, make a great wife for several reasons. The most glaring and obvious reason that Filipino women don't qualify as being great wife material is because, in and of themselves, a wife is not an individual. A wife is part of a unit. Are you a good husband? Do you provide what it takes for your wife to be a good wife? What are your expectations? Yes. All right. Let's look at some of the more obvious and consistent trains of thought. The first one is that Philippine people in general, and in particular women, are raised with a very high degree of a sense of family, of responsibility to that family. The contradicting part of that is that their husband is not the only family. So if you're not a husband that's going to allow your wife to help their family, well, you are actually grinding her away from the way she was raised. And aren't you chasing that in a relationship? The second reason, or the second thing that I would look at in trying to answer that is there's a wide disparity of women in the Philippines, just like in the US. For instance, in the Philippines, we have uneducated and undereducated women on top of educated and highly educated women. Where will you set your sights? And then what are your expectations of that? You know, Filipino women are only probably three, maybe four generations from being just like American women are right now. So don't think that um, you know they have a um, don't think that they have a claim to being the best of the best. You know what? If you had been here in the Philippines 20 years ago, you would see a radically different, larger population of women with different attitudes. The more they get educated, the more they expect out of life. the more opportunity they want to pursue. Because one of the things that makes Filipino women such great wives is the fact that they are so hardworking. Some of you qualify or quantify that as to how many floors they can sweep, mop, and scrub, and how clean they can keep your house. Yeah, I guess that's hardworking. And if that's the traditional value that you seek, I feel bad for you. I really do. I feel bad for anybody that doesn't treat another human being on an equal basis. And if you think that Filipino women shouldn't be treated as an equal, unsubscribe and go away. Because I will never agree with that. I will never agree that any woman, anywhere, should be treated in a manner that isn't equal to the way that you treat them or that they treat you. Keep in mind, Filipino women may not have the benefits of many different things that American women have, or European women, or any other women. That doesn't mean that if they had had those benefits growing up, they would be very different. I can tell you right now, if you date a Filipino woman that comes from an affluent family, okay? These are not women that want to run around in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. So if you want educated women, then you need to also entertain the fact that they're going to have their own train of thought. To me, that makes a Filipino woman a great wife. Somehow they learn to balance family, their own careers, and their own futures. I can tell you that I saw a blog today talking about an age difference issue. I'm not going to go into who it was. All right. And that this guy is like saying, hey, I got to teach her how to get on an airplane, how to do this, how to do that. Well, for fuck's sake, if you just never did it, if she's never had that opportunity, yeah, you're going to have to teach them. That's just the way it works. And there are a lot of Filipino women like that. There are Filipino women that we personally know, that they have a choice. They can get on an airplane, fly an hour and a half, get in a taxi, and in 45 minutes, they're home. But all they've ever known is that for them to get home, they're going to get on a bus, and they're going to change buses, I think 3 or 4 times over the course of 2 days to get home. They've never had the opportunity, the finances, or the ability to fly home. My point isn't that they haven't had the ability. My point is what is your expectation? My expectation doesn't matter. Your expectation matters. What is it you want? Do you think you're capable of finding a great wife? I look at these people that say they're looking for traditional women with traditional marriage values. Well, if you look at history, those values have changed and evolved. And the same thing is going to happen and is happening in the Philippines. You have a very large number of Filipino women who run their own businesses. I don't think they want to be pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen. I don't think that they don't want their opinion to be heard at the dinner table. I think that they would like for their spouse to take an active and equal amount of the burden of the family. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's okay. It happens. Maybe I'm just old and I'm old fashioned, you know? But I don't believe that you can treat people like that. I don't believe that you can uh, put them into indentured servitude by marriage. Find a good Filipino woman, make her tick those boxes off. Is she independent? Can she support herself? Is she helping her own family? All right, doing all of those things. All right, that's the kind of Filipino woman that will make a great wife. And if you're not looking for a wife, that's the kind of woman that will have an incredibly good relationship. You know, if you're coming here, well, I'm not even going to get into this. That's for a different subject, a different day. My point with all of this is, do Filipino women make good wives? Well, sure they do. So do American women. So do European women. So do South African or African women. Because a wife, a good wife, is something that her spouse says is good. Find a woman that ticks your boxes, and in turn, make sure that you're not trying to place them into indentured servitude. Okay? A lot of guys come here to the Philippines. They want to find a beautiful young lady. They want to play around, move on to the next little lady. The bar girls call these people butterflies. They just go from guy to guy, girl to girl to girl. Okay? Just like the bar girls go from guy to guy to guy. The only difference is they're making money doing it. Those guys are spending money to do it. You've got to come up with your own opinion as to what's right or what's wrong with that. I'm married to a Filipino, and I am grateful for it. I'm not grateful that she's Filipino. I'm not grateful that she's a Filipina. I'm grateful that I've met somebody, fell in love, and they have the same values that I have. That they wanted the same things in life that I want. My wife could just as easily say, you know what, I want to live in the US. I want to live here where things are different. I want to do this. I want to do that. Some of that she probably does want. Most of it, no. She actually loves living in the Philippines. She lived in the US. We lived in the United States. Okay? But her life is more whole here with her family. Being able to interact, although it's just occasionally, with her family. She understands the Philippines better than the US, but she would have to learn the US a little bit more. Not to say, you know, my wife drove, you know, had a US driver's license, had a car, credit cards, everything goes along with it in the US. Okay? But the point is that I'm fortunate. I hope that you're fortunate. I hope that you're being realistic. Okay? There are those people that define and look at high value Filipinos versus low value Filipinos. Well, that's just another term for good smart girls versus dumb not smart girls. Plenty of those in the US, plenty of them here. You should date within the confines of what your desires are. More so than that, what's more important than any of it is that you make each other happy. I'm fortunate. Some of you will become fortunate. Some of you don't want to get married again. I've never met an over 50 expat who's been single all their life. That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Not one have I met over 50, although I know one that's close, getting close. Okay? Single all their life. Look, I hope you found this a little bit informative. I hope you realize Philippine women make great wives. So do American women. So do Portuguese women. So do British women. Not everyone is going to tick your boxes, all right? Going to fill in all the X's and O's and blanks, but certainly some will. Don't make this a cultural, racial issue. Make this a simple saying that goes, can I afford to find somebody different in my life? And will they make exceptions for my faults? And generally, you're going to have some faults that they're going to have to make exceptions for. Okay? Most of you are not spring chickens, but you're after spring chickens. Most of you are not in the best of health, but they are. All of that being said, look, if you found this informative, great. Please subscribe. Really, we could use it. And that thumbs up. That is super, super important in helping to drive the algorithm for us. All right? If you feel differently about what I said, comment. Tell us. Let me know how you think. Arlene and I would love to take a look at that. We'll see. Tomorrow is a good day for me. I have the house entirely clean. Had the housekeepers come in and clean after I clean. Smells good, looks good. Arlene gets back tomorrow night. So I have my whole day pretty much empty and relaxing. There's a YouTube bloggers greeting meet here at Candy Palace tomorrow. I plan on trying to attend. But I'll have plenty of time in the morning to answer comments. So give me some comments to answer. All right? We really hope you have a great time. And I hope, whether it's a Filipino woman or a different woman, that you find the relationship that you want and that it exists in a manner that makes you happy. Thank you and have a great day.